So, how do we go about doing this? How do we go about making disciples that make disciples that make disciples? What we've done and focused on over the last while is trying to win, or maybe that's not the right word, but trying to see families come to know Jesus. So rather than focusing on individuals, but we're trying to focus on groups of people, be it families, be it groups of friends. And we see this often in Scripture. So in the book of Acts, all the decisions that people made for Jesus, if I can use that word, or the choices they make to follow Jesus was always in groups. The thought of an individual coming to Christ is not very common in Scripture. In fact, maybe only 3 times we see something like that. Mostly it's always families and groups of people. And so that's the real key, is trying to see groups of people journey their way towards Jesus. And we get this idea in Scripture from Jesus and his disciples. So as we all know, Jesus had a group of guys who followed him for maybe 3 years. And even at the end of the 3 years, they still didn't really, some of them still didn't really get who he was. And so what that shows us is that it's a journey towards Jesus. And if we can do it in a group, then that's much more effective. When we ask a person to pray a sinner's prayer or do something like that, and many times they're making a decision to want to know more about Jesus. For some, they are at that point of really committing their lives and choosing to be disciples. But for most, it's more of an interest thing. And so we do this by bringing groups of people to know Jesus over a period of time through looking at stories. And these stories are often can start either at creation, going to Jesus, or in some cases we might even start with the birth of Jesus. But they're a group of 10, 15, 20 stories, depends on the context. And each story points out something about God's character and who he is. And as people get to know and understand Jesus more, they're in a better position to make a decision to follow, or in some cases maybe not to follow.